Hi, and welcome to Module 6, where we'll look more deeply at the Populist Aligned archetype. I'm Jennifer Messenger. Here's a quick refresher on all the archetypes as you continue getting to know them. As we look more deeply at the Populist Aligned archetype, please keep in mind that the information I'm sharing is based on interviews with decision makers our team identified as aligning with this archetype. I'm sharing these insights in the spirit of understanding and connection, not stereotype or judgment. I'm not speaking on behalf of anyone. The views and quotes I'm sharing are directly from our interviews. Hearing these findings and envisioning meetings with these and any decision makers across any archetype likely brings up a range of feelings for you. As we go, jot those down and think about what you'd need to feel ready for and confident in these conversations. Module 7 on hidden feelings helps you dive into your own needs and feelings within a conversation and to understand the needs and feelings of the person you're speaking with. You might want to jump ahead to that module on hidden feelings and then come back to the archetypes. If you're ready, let's dive in on the Populist Aligned archetype. Note that instead of just calling this the Populist archetype, we've used the term Populist Aligned. And this is important because populists tend to be working class people who have lower levels of academic completion. In contrast, the decision makers who make a concerted effort to appeal to populists are often not populists themselves. So they're aligned, but not the same audience. That's why we use populist aligned. These decision makers are led by constitutional ideals. They value individuals making efforts to advance themselves without outside help or government spending. We talked earlier about how individualism runs strongly across these archetypes and really strongly through culture in the United States at a dominant level too, really strong in this group. What that can mean is there's resentment often toward people who are not perceived to rightfully earn their benefits. This archetype believes that society does not need to make things fair for everyone. This archetype also holds an adamant conviction that parents, not the government, should make decisions for their children's well-being. There is, however, an ongoing opening for discussion about how childcare, when accessible, can impact people's ability to do their jobs, but not to the extent that it raises taxes or infringes on parents' rights. So childcare and supports to help people work gives you an opening, even if it can be hard to talk about who pays for that. Values among this archetype: loyalty to America, diligence, and freedom. When it comes to prenatal through 3 policies and issues, this group favors no government role, right? That should be handled by individuals in the community. Any solutions that we're proposing need to come with evidence that those solutions won't raise taxes or spending. Who does this group trust? Mostly their own research and individuals from their community. In this group, there tends to be a deep distrust of data, experts, and media. So working with someone, if you can, from the community who has the trust of these electeds can really help be a conversation opener. What populist-aligned decision makers need to evaluate policy proposals? The quote that I'm about to read to you really says it all. Quote, when I vote on a piece of legislation, I ask myself 3 questions. Is it constitutional? Does it grow government? Does it raise taxes? If the answer to the first is yes, and the second 2 is no, then we can talk, right? So this group is asking, is it constitutional? It has to meet that test. Does it grow government and does it raise taxes? If those are yeses, this is going to be a harder conversation. So that's a great litmus test for what you'll need to be ready for going into that conversation. What populist-aligned decision makers hope advocates will keep in mind? They hear a lot from their constituents about fear of discrimination against white people. So that fear is top of mind when they're coming into conversations around policies and equity. Again, trust comes from working with people in their network. So when you can, share stories from the community that reflect actual local experiences that they can see and are hearing about from their constituents. You can also look for examples to cite notable conservative and populist-aligned support for the issues. For example, in one of his State of the Union addresses, President Trump highlighted his historic investment in high-quality childcare. So connecting those dots can really help elevate that issue and the proximity of the conversation. Now, as we've met with advocates working on prenatal through 3 and other issues, there have been discussions about the effectiveness of meeting with populist-aligned decision makers, because they often might hold very different opinions about the role of policy and the role of government. In some cases, advocates are choosing to work with other members of their coalition or community who have understanding or connections within the populist aligned decision makers, or who feel more confident and safe in what can be more difficult conversations. In other cases, advocates are opting not to work directly with decision makers who stay back from the role of policy. Instead, they're appealing to voters and other influencers to move those policies. As you work with your coalition to plan the strategy for this archetype and for every decision maker you need to engage, I want to point you to some helpful tools in the guide. If you go to the shared characteristics section in the navigation bar, and then to the point about conversations about structural racism, sometimes being non-starters, across the archetypes, you'll find 3 links. There are documents for an asset inventory across your coalition, an asset inventory for individual organizations in your coalition, and then some key considerations for coalition operating guidelines. This can be really helpful in describing among your whole coalition what your approach will be to different decision makers and who takes the lead where. As you reflect on this module, I invite you to think about a few things. Think of a decision maker in your district who fits this archetype of populist aligned. How might these insights prepare you for conversation? What else would you add to these insights? What feelings are coming up for you here? And what do you need to move through a conversation with confidence? And then please do think about any questions or discussion points you'd like to bring to the live training, or to a TA session, or to a discussion with your coalition. Thank you for joining us.